Let's go! Let's go! Yes!
Please finish. I cannot believe it!
Please, dude. Oh my fucking god. Oh, dude, what the fuck?
Speedrunning. Those who are a part of a game's speedrunning community are seen as players with some of the highest skill in that game. It is because of this reputation that whenever a new game is released, there will inevitably be someone who wants to know, how fast can it be beaten? Most are familiar with the popular speedrun titles, such as Super Mario 64, Portal, or Minecraft. However, within the larger crowd of games in the speedrunning community, there's a small subset of runners that don't use a controller, nor a mouse and keyboard to play their games, but a VR headset. So, let's get into a virtual reality. While most would consider it to be a modern technology, can actually trace its origins back almost 100 years. However, up until the mid-90s, it was not made available to the general populace. For this, it was mostly used by scientists, such as those at NASA, and military pilots, who used the tech to track eye movements all the way back in the late 1970s. In 1991, the first arcade VR experience launched. Created by the Virtuality Group, the creatively named Virtuality Arcade Machine became the very first mass-produced virtual reality gaming system, which offered players a 3D game world to explore. Popular games of the era came to the machine, such as Pac-Man. Virtual reality technology was finally able to be experienced at home in 1995 with Nintendo's Virtual Boy. But it was plagued with many problems, such as a huge price tag, lackluster gameplay, and even health concerns, and ended as a massive commercial flop for the company. After this, there was a huge VR drought for close to 15 years. No one wanted to try where Nintendo failed. Until the VR headset that we think of today is truly an exceptional leap in gaming technology. First conceptualized by Palmer Luckey in 2010, the prototype of what would eventually become the Oculus Rift injected new interest into virtual reality as a whole. By 2012, the Oculus Rift was a Kickstarter success, raising $2.4 million during its campaign. By 2014, Facebook solidified the growing hype by buying out the Oculus VR company for $2 billion. More large companies, such as Google, Samsung, and Sony, announced exciting new VR projects. Virtual reality wasn't looking like a silly joke anymore, but an exciting prospect only a few years of development away. By 2017, HTC had released the first commercially available headset with room-scale tracking, another big jump in VR tech. The memory of Nintendo's failed Virtual Boy was now a thing of the past, and great quality, well-supported room-scale VR was no longer a thing of the distant future, but a reality. During this time, game developers did not sit idly by. They had been hard at work producing some of the most amazing experiences using this new technology. Games such as Beat Saber and Half-Life Alyx have been both incredible successes, critically and commercially. Despite virtual reality and virtual reality games growing rapidly in popularity over the past 10 years, the speedrunning communities of said games have remained shockingly small. When video games transitioned through other large technological jumps, such as the advent of 3D games, the speedrunners were at the front of the pack, adapting to the new style of games and helping their respective communities grow. However, this same speedrunning boom has been absent in VR titles. It's left me wondering, why? It's not from a lack of hardware access. Millions of people worldwide own a VR headset as of December 2021, and that number is increasing exponentially with every passing year. It's not due to the lack of large titles either. Some of the best-selling VR games have little to no speedrunning presence. Even linear, level-based virtual reality games that feel like they should emulate other well-loved speedrun games have next to no runs on speedrun.com. Half-Life Alyx especially sticks out in my mind as a game that should have many more runs than it does. The original Half-Life and its sequel, Half-Life 2, have accrued almost 3,000 total runs between them, a respectable total that dwarfs its virtual reality cousin. When searching through speedrun.com while excluding games that can't be played on non-VR platforms, Job Simulator comes out on top with a measly 500 runs. To put that in perspective, when ranked with all the titles currently listed on speedrun.com, that would put the most ran VR title well past 300th place, and just below Wii Sports Club. Not the most impressive representation. So what is it? Perhaps it's daunting for runners who have never ran a VR title to begin running one. The splits can be complicated and confusing, and the experience is isolating, both from the room the runner is in, as well as any Twitch or YouTube audience that might be watching. Perhaps it's from virtual reality gamers not being into speedrunning, or speedrunners not being into virtual reality. Perhaps it's just from how people play VR games. They pick them up, play them a couple times to get through the main story or some main modes, and then never look back. It's a tough problem to evaluate when all there is to look at is the long list of barren speedrun.com leaderboards. So, what's the solution? Is there one? Are VR games forever doomed to the bottom of the speedrun.com leaderboards? I don't think so. I think if they got some more time to shine, more attention from some bigger sources, and most importantly, some dedicated runners willing to put in the time and effort to make the games accessible to run, the VR speedrunning leaderboards could explode. I think it just needs some more people to get out there and run. And thus concludes this mini history of virtual reality headsets, games, and speedruns. I believe VR games have the necessary potential to be great speed games. Who knows, maybe this video piqued your interest. Maybe you'll even try your hand at speedrunning a VR game because of it. Maybe you have a dusty old VR headset sitting in a closet somewhere, just waiting to be picked up and used to run your favorite VR title. And maybe, just maybe, you'll run my game. There wouldn't be anything that would make me happy. I hope to see you on the leaderboards. Hey, if I could steal just 30 more seconds from you, I'd really appreciate you giving this video a quick like and maybe throwing some meaningless blabber down in that comment section. It really does help YouTube show off a tiny little channel like this one to more people who might enjoy my content, like you did. And if you really like this video in particular, hitting that subscribe button right now shows me that this is the video that got you to stick around, and I'll be sure to make more content like this.